Hello and welcome to Eastenders Weekly, your one and only weekly podcast all about Eastenders. Although what I might say is this week we're the number one Eastenders podcast on iTunes.
Oh yes, we were.
So thank you. It's all because of you downloading us that we're now number one.
Yeah, thanks for listening, everyone.
So we're discussing episodes from the 4th to the 8th of June this week. And I am Ben, and I'm again joined by Alex.
Yes, we're feeling a bit more recovered now. I think this time last week we were both a bit tired, drawn.
Yes. Don't know what time it was.
Got home from holiday, watched 2 hours of EastEnders.
Very emotional.
Very emotional. We were wrecks. We were absolute wrecks.
Yes, like Carmel.
Yes.
So, should we start this week by talking about Carmel?
Well, I was going to say, speaking of the devil.
She still hasn't got her makeup on.
No, still
She's washed her hair, though.
She has.
Not blow-dried it.
I mean, as the week progressed, she started to wear a little bit more foundation. You could tell that she was...
Mascara. She had mascara on Friday when she was asleep.
Well, before she was asleep, she had a very special occasion, though, to prepare for.
So she's still not really settling down. Kush is trying his best to help her at the beginning of the week.
Yeah, and she's really kind of pushing Kush away, saying to him that she wants a bit of space, that he's kind of crowding her, and that the best thing he could do is by just giving her some time to think.
Because she escapes the flat. She used the same trick that Keegan used on Karen. And says, can you just pick up something from my bedroom?
Some magazines.
And then she runs out and then has a little look around the square.
I mean, this was after Kush suggested television, radio, or magazines, and he
gave her another cup of coffee, even though she hadn't drunk the last one.
The last one was cold.
So she's sort of walking around the market,
looking a bit lost, a bit confused. Goes to the PG.
Playground. And Keegan's there.
Keegan's there on the swings, and she sits down on the bench, and they have a bit of a heart-to-heart with one another. She asks how he's doing. He's saying, not great.
I should be asking you this.
Yeah, I should be asking you the same question. And after a bit of to and fro, Keegan says, Bruno, who's the man who stabbed, or the boy who stabbed Shaquille, even though he's been arrested for it, his gang are still out there, and they're boasting about
bragging about
it. Bruno's bragging about it, and I'll make sure that we put this to rest. And so
she asks him for a hug.
She does. She says, "Give your mum a hug. Give your second mum a hug." Yeah. And she then tackles him in an arm kind of lock. And takes out of his pocket. She was very swift. She knew exactly where to go, didn't she?
Well, she has a lot of practice with spying on Shaquille all these years. A lot of her going through his phone and all sorts. So she's quite good. But yeah, she found a knife on Keegan.
She did, a little blade knife. And again, this goes back to last week when she was saying to him, this is ridiculous. This is full circle. You'll be another boy who's got a mother who's going to care for, miss his son in jail or had died, and so quite upset and miffed, she goes off.
She goes to speak to Karen, doesn't she?
Yeah, with Keegan in tow. I mean, it always amazes me how worried and scared, like the power that Karen has over Keegan. Because as soon as Carmel was up in the flat, and all she did was show Karen the knife. You could just still Keegan was like, "Oh, we're gonna do anything with it."
I know. He turns into a little 8-year-old boy again.
It is a bit. There's only one person who can tame Keegan, and that is his mum.
Well, that's a good sign of a great matriarch on EastEnders.
Good, almost an award-winning, some might say.
Wow, yes, well deserved. But yeah, Karen's, because they don't really have many matriarchs on EastEnders anymore. Like you used to have Peggy and Pat; they were like the matriarchs.
You used to have Pauline as well, didn't you?
Yeah.
But Pauline kind of you got tired of her by the end of it. You kind of felt sorry for anyone who stepped in her way. Karen's the likable matriarch, the one you want to win, the one you actually think, Karen, I agree with you.
It's about time we had a matriarch back on the square. No one else has really been able to fill in that gap. It's not. I suppose it would have been like Linda's character, but she's definitely not matriarch.
I mean, they've weakened Linda, haven't they? They weakened Linda a couple of years ago, and they've never really built her back up.
Sharon's not quite a matriarchal.
I
don't know. She's not motherly, is she?
No, bless her. She tries when she does try to give Louise any kind of attention or care. It's normally followed up with, "Oh, I've got a phone call from the club. Let go."
And the only other long-lasting character is Dot, but she's never been that sort of.
Well, where is Dot?
Well,
we don't know where Dot is
since Abby's wake. She's still upset.
She must come back for not Abby's funeral. Keegan's Shaquille's funeral.
Yeah, hopefully. She make a guest appearance.
Well, she always comes whenever anything death features are required. Then Dot is there with some kind of passage from the Bible.
June Brown's now doing the same adverts as Pat, doing window sales.
Or the Safe Style adverts.
Yeah.
Really?
She must be hard up.
Oh, I've not seen them.
Yeah, she's on there now, so she must be hard up for cash.
They're amazing adverts. Anyone, just search Safe Style UK adverts.
Yes, the amazing Pat Butcher is now doing them.
She's gone down a few notches.
Now June Brown's taken that off of her.
That's not very fair, is it? Because June Brown's got another job to come back to at the end of it.
Well, we hope so.
Yeah. Anyway, back to Shaquille.
Yeah, back to Shaquille. So she's talking to Karen in the house, and she's threatening to take her to the police and dob Keegan in.
Dob Keegan in, yes. Yeah. But Karen talks her down and says, if you do that, then he won't survive in prison and he'll just be this horrible person. I'm the one who can keep him in line.
Statistic, whatever it's called.
Another statistic, yeah. I mean, she was right. Keegan really only listens to his mum. Although Carmel, I think, again, as the week progressed, you kind of saw that Keegan, I think, has a bit of a soft spot for Carmel now.
Because she does go to the police with it, doesn't she? I think she has intentions to still say it was his.
Yes.
She sort of changes her mind last minute, and that's where the police woman says, "Oh, there's a knife surrender box."
And then there's like a light bulb lit up above Carmel's head.
Something to keep my mind busy.
Yeah, something to fill out the plot.
So the next day, she's now still frantic, but now obsessing over sort of this, making her own knife box and sort of printing out leaflets with Shaquille's face on it and putting them everywhere,
putting them around the square, even though most of the square probably know who Shaquille is. But you got the impression through dialogue that she was handing them out further afield than Bridge Street and Albert Square. Well, yes, it needs a bit of a wider community.
Yeah, a bit manic.
She went to the hardware store and got a couple of chains, some padlocks, and
a dustbin.
It looked like one of those dustbins that you get when you're having a bonfire. Those bonfire bins.
Yeah.
But I could have been mistaken. I just presumed that she was using one of those because it has the funnel at the top, so you could kind of drop in the knife at the top. But again, later on, when she goes to the knife bin frantically to see if anyone had dropped anything off, it hadn't been chained up very well at all. No. It wasn't really fit for purpose.
Cling film around it or something.
No, it's just it's been chained up.
It looked like cling film.
Yeah, and it had just lots of stickers on it saying "Knives, no, stop it now."
No, we also got a little scene with Sharon and Kush as well, where Sharon actually finally talks about her ordeal of the stabbing. Finally, because a lot of people online wanted that to be mentioned.
It's just mad that it hasn't been related.
Because obviously Dennis, everyone who doesn't know, Dennis got stabbed.
Yes, on
Sharon's
New Year's
husband.
Day or New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
In the middle of the square. Again, that was linked to Phil.
I know, naughty boy.
He's a naughty boy. Never kills them. Always links to it though.
But it was nice that she got a scene of Kush and sort of said, it does get better and all these things. But it was nice they finally addressed it.
Well, yes, I think it was time they addressed it. I mean, Sharon was there when they had the whole police set up when they were doing the investigations.
Yeah. Drinking tea.
Yes, taking a mug of tea that was intended
and that's
for
when
the
she
police
said,
officers.
"Oh, I've always felt safe here."
Yeah.
And there was that really funny meme online of all the things that's happened to Sharon on the square.
Oh, that's a great meme. Did we retweet that?
Possibly.
Oh, have a look on our Twitter feed to see if you can find it. But it's great.
It basically quotes her saying, "I've always felt safe on here," and then it shows her like in hospital being shot, a gun pointed at her by Shirley.
Yeah, when someone broke into a club and she
got beaten up. It is funny.
But as you say, it was good that it was right that they addressed Sharon's story, because it made the perfect fit, really. It didn't make much sense why they didn't include Sharon a lot more in the story. But then I suppose Sharon has a bit of a story of her own this week.
Yeah, but even that she's not really in.
No, she just kind of molds around.
Looks around and then
suspiciously
goes off. So Kush is getting a bit worried about Carmel's mental state.
Yes, he sees
he's got his little thing from the Samaritans, hasn't he?
He's still got the card that the ambulance driver gave him, and he sees all the flyers. Like Carmel had done a good job. She got lots of cable ties and envelope wallet, like clear wallets, and like had to poster and put one on every ring around the actual gardens of the square.
And she laminated all of them. It must have cost quite a lot of money.
Oh, well, she was dedicated to the cause. She knew what she wanted to do.
Is it because she hasn't got Shaquille's pocket money going out anymore?
There it is. And his mobile phone bill.
Yeah,
Just cancel that.
Save lots of money.
£25 a month. I'll laminate some flyers. And she was going up and down the market, and she did look frantic. She looked a bit, worried. But I mean, instead of just kind of, I suppose Kush had tried to approach her and say, "Are you okay, Mum?" And it kind of fell on deaf ears. But he phoned Samaritans. And
because he sort of looked in the community centre, and she was like checking her homemade bin.
Well, that's when she checked. She just opened the bin.
Yeah. No knives here yet. It's been 10 minutes.
I mean, there could have been knives in there at some point, but some kid just came along and picked them all up again. Yeah. I mean, I did question. I thought to myself, that's really, really bad. But you could have argued that it had been vandalised, so perhaps some kid had broken into the bin. And...
Maybe.
No.
But Kush phones up and says, "I think my mum needs help." So,
but then after he does that on the following episode, he sees his mum again doing much more the same, but kind of sympathises with her a little bit. He does go up to her though. After Ian, you get the first sight of Ian saying, "I'll help you out, Carmel." But he does go up to her and say, "I don't want to lose you as well. So can you please take my advice and speak to a counsellor?" Which then leads to Carmel having a talk in the community centre with Ian about,
because he's taken down his sort of Bill election poster.
I was going to say about that. He's obviously given up on trying. I mean, that's a storyline that's obviously just decided that perhaps it's not a good taste if we carried that one on. So they've put that one. Yeah, he said, "Oh, I hope you had better luck," almost forgetting what had happened to Carmel. And again, bizarrely, the community centre has a 3-piece sofa.
I thought that when she sat down on it, it was like a really grotty sofa, like just there. I've never seen that before.
No, it's never been in there before. Again, I think they may have changed the set. Because we were talking about the police station set, and I don't know.
That's been updated.
Yeah, anyone with a keen eye may have noticed that set has been updated internally and externally. It looks different. But the community centre inside looks a bit different too. I mean, they don't use a studio for that set either. They actually use it as
it's on the lot, isn't it?
It's on the actual main.
They can actually go inside to outside in one go.
I think it's the only one they can do that. Well, other than
the Minute Mart,
the allotment shed. Oh yeah, and the Minute Mart. Yeah,
and the laundrette. Or
no, that's inside. That they film that inside in the set. In the studio. But
so Ian and Carmel are sort of bonding a little bit over the fact they've both lost a child. Although, are they really that similar, the way they've both lost their child?
Well, yes. I mean, I said I've wondered whether Ian had put like the music box in the knife bin, because that's quite a dangerous weapon when used with the wrong hands.
And a hockey stick.
And a hockey stick, yeah, Bobby.
But I don't know. I mean, I guess they both lost a child, yeah, but they're quite different circumstances.
I mean, she had no control on losing her child. Ian, I suppose he had no control either. But no. It's difficult, isn't it? I know what you're saying. I
suppose that what they're bonding over is just the loss of a child, not how.
Yeah,
they were lost, I suppose.
I mean, she asked him, "Does it get any easier?" And Ian's like, "Well, you tell me. It doesn't really."
I suppose he could be talking about Stephen.
No,
no,
I don't think so.
He's lost 2 children.
I think he cut his ties with Stephen quite. Yeah,
I suppose that still wouldn't be the same sort of circumstances.
He's losing kids left, right, and centre, isn't he? He's got.
Bobby's off.
Bobby's in prison still,
like junior prison.
Although
he is due out this year.
Is he
due out? But I assume they're just gonna not mention it, and he'll just live with Jane.
Well, I've got
not mention.
Yeah, no, I agree. I've got a funny feeling that there's going to be a storyline with that where Bobby is due to release from prison. Ian turns up. Bobby's already gone. And then about 2-3 weeks down the line, Jane and Bobby reappear.
Oh, that'd be good.
That'd be a nice storyline.
Or maybe like a year or so they can make him grow up a bit.
Or but change the actor.
Yeah. And Jane can come back.
I liked the actor who played Bobby.
Yeah, he was good. He was a theatre actor, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was decent. He was really good. He was probably the best
Well, they picked him for knowing he was going to do the live week. So they had to get someone who was used to doing
live theatre.
Anyway, we keep going off track.
It's me. Yes, we do. So Carmel asks Ian also if she should see a counsellor, and Ian again says maybe you should, but Ian notices that Carmel's biggest concern is this knife bin, and so agrees to help Carmel. He says that Shaquille would only be angry if you gave up, and that, you know, if only one person gave in a knife, then you've saved one life.
Exactly. It's like the nicest Ian's been for like years.
It's nice to see Ian not being a prat.
Annoying.
Yeah, it's really nice. But, you know, Adam Widyatt is good. He's a good actor. You know, he's been in EastEnders since day dot, but he is a great actor. And when he's given a meaty role to do, he's really decent at doing it. But something like this is a little bit different for Ian, because normally it's a manipulative storyline, or he's keeping a secret from someone.
He's being silly or something.
Yeah, or he's being ridiculous.
Well, he was a bit ridiculous at the beginning of the week, but that's Mel's.
He was, but I don't blame him for that. I blame Mel.
Yeah. So he sort of sets up like a little press sort of thing.
Yeah, press junket
with the Wolford Gazette. So she's back.
It's Hardy Fleet Street, as Carmel said.
And Carmel doesn't want to have the police involved because she thinks if kids see the police there, they won't feel like they can come and, well...
they don't trust the police.
Yeah, they don't trust the police.
They trust... I mean, she's got a point. Again, if you get like a celebrity ambassador to say something, kids are more likely to listen to that than they are to, say, the police force telling you to not play with knives anymore.
Yeah, exactly. So she's there. She's doing like a speech.
In the meantime, Carmel kind of pushes Ian away, saying, I don't want the police to be involved.
No.
Oh, it's the best you can do getting the Wolford Gazette. You might as well not bother at all. Ian takes it on the chin, which is very unlike Ian Beale. Ian's normally like, well, fine then. Huh, and then storms off back to the cafe to count his money. Yeah. But he doesn't. He resists and carries on, goes to the police station. We don't know why. He bumps into another character at the police station. More on that later. And then he comes back to the community centre while Carmel's doing her speech, which is
really weird, this scene. Like the way he kept going in and out.
Well, it makes sense now. He was going in and out because he was waiting for the police officers to arrive.
It was just really weird. He kept going in and then out and then in and then he went out again.
As if he was about to say something. He was like, and then went back out.
It was like, what are you doing? But they showed it like 3 times. And there wasn't a big gap in between.
But he was waiting.
Really odd.
He was waiting for the police to turn up, but in the meantime, Carmel's speech was going down like a lead balloon.
A horrible reporter.
It's that horrible reporter again. Which, when we first met her, we sympathised with her because it was a Masood and Ian storyline. Yeah. But on this occasion, we were a bit like, she brought up valid points, and you could tell the way it was the actress was portraying it, that the reporter was only saying these things as a concerned citizen herself. But Carmel...
She was butting in a lot. That was really annoying. I was like, if you shut up and let Carmel do her speech, you get these answers.
That was the press, though. That's the press.
Yeah, I know. Pushy.
But eventually, on the third time of Ian walking back through the door, 2 police officers come in with a heavy red knife-safe bin. So Ian's done good.
All official.
Yes, and Carmel is very happy. And then she gets her round of applause from the crowd. Does. And again, not liking him, Bill, he gracefully steps to one side and lets Carmel take the praise.
So Carmel finally, after all this time, gets to sleep.
She does, in a lovely moment, actually, a lovely scene. So Ian promises that he's going to sit and look at the knife safe for a little bit. But before he does, he gets a phone call, so has to leave the community centre for a second. Carmel kind of lets out a great big breath of relief, kind of puts her head down onto a table, and then a little shifty young lad,
a man in a black hoodie,
walks in, hoodie up, kind of sees her, thinks, okay, I'll go to the knife bin. She won't see me. Puts the knife in the knife bin, makes a clunk sound, and she turns around, looks at him, and he just sheepishly runs away. And then she just has this little smile, so you can tell that finally,
was worth it. One knife.
Yeah, which is exactly what Ian said earlier in the week. If one knife is handed in, then that's one life that's been saved.
And there's a really nice scene with Kush as well. Because we said last week, I said, well, Kush doesn't seem too bothered. He's too wound up with trying to keep the rest of the family okay. And he finally had a little look. Carmel was asleep on him, and he was looking through the photo album.
Yeah, it was a lovely
moment.
A
nice little scene.
Told him how he loved that she used to watch that Merlin TV show. I love that little plug by the BBC.
Catch up on iPlayer.
Yeah, I know. I was like, well done, BBC. You had to plug your own show.
Do you remember when BBC Three went online and they showed a clip of Sonia on her laptop? Yeah. And she said, "Oh, I'm just watching BBC Three online now."
In the caf. Free Wi-Fi.
So, is that necessary?
What do you think the Wi-Fi password is at the caf? Probably Cafe.
With a K.
Yeah. Capital K, A, T, H, capital Y, 2.
Caffey's necklace. But there's been a lot of praise this week again for Bonnie Langford online.
Deservedly so.
Yeah. Some people have said Bonnie plays this so well. Bonnie Langford is absolutely amazing. Surely an award is on its way.
Ooh.
Someone said, I love Kush. He's the perfect man. Are there any people like that in real life? No. I don't think there is.
Why did you look at me when you said that?
At last, Kush is showing some emotion. A nice scene with his sleeping mum.
It was a lovely scene.
And it was nice to see a bit of proper focus on Kush. It was about time.
Oh, no. Again, it was nice to show the focus on Kush's.
Yeah. And this week, I might say, I've taken all of the comments from Instagram this week.
Ooh.
So we've got a different pool of opinions.
Yes.
Different age range. Maybe.
Different
Don't know.
opinions.
So not from Twitter this week. It's all from Instagram.
Mixing it up. Don't forget you can follow us on Instagram at Eastenders Weekly.
You can, if you want to.
If you choose to. Don't feel forced. No one's forcing you.
No. So, shall we go on to talk about Martin and Stacey's secret
rendezvous, romance?
Bit strange.
I mean, any storyline that involves Ted, is in for a stinker.
I forgot he was.
Oh, yeah, he's in it later.
So, the week starts with Robbie saying to Stacey, "Oh, do you want to hear something funny?" And you see Shrimpy in the background of his friend.
His friend who we've never met before. No. But I hope we meet more often.
Yeah.
It's nice Shrimpy's got a
friend. Though
we
can't take away from Shrimpy. So Shrimpy comes first.
I know, but it rounds Shrimpy off a little bit. So we know he's got 3 girlfriends who will work in the square.
And we know that this guy's decent for Shrimpy's mate. So Shrimpy must hang around with like really rough, scabby people. Especially for Robbie to say it.
I don't know who's more insulted, Stacey or Shrimpy.
Well, that's what Robbie says. He said he's an all right mate for a mate of Shrimpy's. So that gives the illusion that Shrimpy doesn't have very good friends.
Not very nice, Rob. Wow.
But anyway, so Stacey sort of says no to this at first sight.
Yeah, she kind of laughs it off, and Robbie puts his thumb down to the other two, and he's like, "Oh, that's all right. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. There'll be other birds."
I got 3. So.
Yeah, that's right. You can have one of
mine.
There
isn't other birds. Shrimpy has them all.
Well,
So then Stacey then goes to Martin Cafe and says, "In 5 minutes, meet me at your place, not mine." So Dot's house again. Something about Dot's house.
No, Stacey says that to Martin.
That's what I mean.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
And Stacey says it's because she wants to talk about the kids. And so this begins.
So they start kissing and taking off their jackets at Dot's house, and then Bex come downstairs and says, "I've missed my bus," or something. It's so stupid.
And I left my bag at home. I missed my
so
bus.
Can you give me a lift to school, Dad, or college, or wherever she is?
And then Martin makes an excuse for why Stacey is there by saying that they're organising the rota for the kids.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter if I leave now.
It doesn't matter. We can do this again later, which upsets Stacey.
I know. She keeps going from nothing to 1,000. All of a sudden she's really angry with him now.
I mean, we have to remember she has bipolar. So
she's on her medication.
I know, but I guess you have to put that in the back. I'm sure the writers are putting that in the back of their mind.
I don't think so.
I don't know. I'd hope so.
They only talk about that once a year at Christmas.
I know, but it would be a nice subtle way of the reason why Stacey was upset very quickly.
Let's go with that.
Yeah, we'll stick with that. I must say we must remind ourselves, because it's not really been mentioned, that Stacey and Martin are back together again. And it's only
on the down low.
Oh, but it's on the down low. It's on the DL.
Yeah, so they're just having fun.
They're just having fun. Well, when Martin comes back to continue the fun with Stacey, so I'm just thinking of Kingdom Hearts Finny fun. When Martin comes back to have fun with Stacey, he goes up behind her and is like, "Oh, where did we end this? Where do we start again?" And Stacey just throws a glass of water behind her and goes away with Martin. And then, the most messed up argument I think I've ever witnessed happened, where Stacey was saying that she was angry that he was he told Bex that he was sorting out the rota, and that she why didn't you say something else?
It was the way you said it.
It's the way you said it.
Even though to begin with she said it was what he said, but then he explained that, so then it was something else.
Well, you should know better, Martin. You should know how I'm thinking every 24/7.
So when she's angry, she goes, "Actually, tell Shrimpy's mate I'll go on a date with."
Yeah, and so Robbie turns to the bench where Shrimpy
and his mate
is. Thumbs up, and
Shrimpy just waiting around for this to happen. They're just on the bench
hanging around like school, waiting for the girl to be like, "Yeah, all right, then I'll go for a date with you."
I don't know what they've been doing for all that time.
Well, Shrimpy's got a stool to look after, and Martin's stool to look after,
and Cush's. Shrimpy's got 3 stools, 3 girls,
3 money
and
belts.
now one best friend.
Yeah.
So they go on a date, and they're in the Vic.
Yes, and she's having a whale of a time, laughing deliberately loudly.
Getting drinks bought for her.
Yeah. Robbie
Well,
says...
Shrimpy's there.
Yes, Shrimpy's the third
Why
wheel.
is he there?
Well, he needs to introduce them and get them to know one another. It's like, oh, remember that time when we did this? And Stacey's like, oh, that sounds hilarious. And Robbie says that he's punching above his weight, but then, Stacey's a bit like, oh, hello. And but Stacey did tell Robbie for him to bring his wallet because she's thirsty. So perhaps she'd had a couple of drinks at that point as well. But
does Martin come into the Vic and see them? Something happens in the girls' toilets. I can't remember how he gets in there.
Well, Martin walks in and then Stacey goes for a pee in the girls' toilets, and Martin knocks on the door and she's like, Martin, can you not read? It's the ladies. Get out. And they have a bit of a heart-to-heart, and they come to the conclusion that actually they work better when people don't know that they're together. And so that's the reason why Martin had lied. I've just had a light bulb moment. So that's probably why Stacey was upset, because she didn't like that he was hiding it from Bex. He wanted Bex to know. She wanted Bex to know. But they make up their differences. And while still on her date with Shrimpy and Shrimpy's mate, she has sex in the cubicle with Martin and the Queen Vic.
She does. And then that's how that goes.
Wait.
That's all good.
We don't need to go into details over that, I don't think.
And then they also are then having sex again at Dot's house again on the sofa.
But then the following day, Martin asks Shrimpy...
catches them.
Well, Martin asks Shrimpy to look after his stall for him for 5 minutes.
Or 10.
And then Stacey says, no need, 4 will do. And they go back to Dot's house, and they start getting jiggy on the sofa. And
another topless Martin scene. That's 2 weeks in a row now.
He has to start toning that body. He has to start going training with Kush, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He stopped drinking from those tankards and going to the gym together. And who should walk in whilst they're having their love?
Not Bex.
No.
Thank God.
Thankfully. Well, but no, because Martin had said that he made sure she took her bag with her today. Yeah. So she caught her bus to college.
So Sonia.
It was Sonia, and Sonia was not impressed. No, she was fuming.
So she's really upset, and she sort of says, what do you think you're doing? What if it was Bex that saw you? She'd be so confused.
Yeah.
You're living with your ex-wife, and you're... It's like, oh, God's sake, Sonia. Does she ever work? Well, she's got nothing to do, is she? She's too lonely.
I mean, I surmise that if Bex had seen them, that she would have... First words that came out of her mouth would have been, what would Shaquille thought? What would Shaquille have done?
Shaquille did it like that.
Yeah, Shaquille would have done it like that.
So then we have... Basically, the rest of the week, they're just having sex in different places.
Yeah, basically. So once...
A quick surmise of it. They sort of... He woos her and takes her to the very romantic place of the shed.
The shed at the allotment.
Where there's been a murder. Yeah. In the past.
Yes, by Denise's ex-boyfriend. Yeah. This was years ago that had happened. But
and he's obviously already in the shed. And then Stacey... You see like Ted in the foreground, like digging potatoes.
No, he's not. He's talking to his dead wife's urn.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah. And then you see like Stacey in the background in like some trench coat, and she like opens her trench coat
and big and knee-high leather boots.
And she opens her trench coat and like obviously flashes herself at Martin at the window and runs in. And
Martin opens the door and is going, "Come on, come in."
And then Ted's just there like talking to Joyce.
Ted's talking to the dead Joyce and saying like, you'd have loved it. It's because she's never been to the allotment before. So he's like, you'd have loved it here. You'd have loved it on the allotment, watching me dig up my potatoes.
10 steps away.
And he hears a clutter in the shed. So Ted's like, oh, hello, what's going on? I'll investigate. I mean, is that the communal shed? Everyone uses it. Patrick uses it.
I thought one person owned it.
No, they seem to just share the allotment plot. Like, whenever anyone's in a bad mood, it's like, I'm going to the allotment. Get their coat and off to the allotment to dig up some
Cora
carrots.
lived there for a bit, didn't she?
Oh, yeah, she did. But no one spotted her there.
But yeah, Ted sort of looks in and sees a dark-haired woman and Martin getting busy.
Copulating.
So he goes over to
before that, just to save Joyce's blushes, he puts his hand over the urn as if there's eyes on the front of it.
I thought he like put his coat over it, didn't he?
Well, he did something just to stop Joyce from seeing
in her fourth dimension. And then he's in the cafe, and then Sonia. See, I'm getting confused. Sonia comes in gym gear. Apparently, she goes to the gym
on her off days when she's.
Is this Ronnie's gym? Is it open, or is this a separate gym?
Well, the boxing gym.
Where does Stacey?
I
Where
don't
does
know, that
Sonia
seems to
go?
have disappeared, hasn't it? Maybe she
uses the NHS gym at the hospital. She doesn't work out anymore.
or Wolford Community Centre.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
They could do a spinning class there.
So yeah, she's all sweaty with a little bottle and her gym stuff on, and he sort of has a go at her and says you're disgusting.
Yeah. What would Joyce have said? What did Shaquille thought?
What would Joyce have said off screen?
It would have been great if you just saw in the top right hand corner of the screen, just Joyce looking down at the event, just like no,
shaking her head slowly.
Yeah, no dear.
And she says, "What are you talking about? I've done nothing."
Yeah,
and then she sort of works out that must have been Stacey in the shed.
Yes,
and
she says that to Ted, which then
they're back together.
Leads lovely to Friday episode where Sonia's promised Martin that she's not said anything to anyone, and then goes round the square to resident saying, "Oh, you haven't said anything, have you? Oh no, I haven't said anything."
Maybe to this person.
Yeah, and as she walks away, "Oh, I think I said something to Billy though, but he won't say anything." And Billy, "Oh, I haven't said anything." "Oh, but maybe to Honey, but she won't say anything." And it just went round and round like that.
Yeah.
I said to you, didn't I? It reminded me of that episode of Friends when Ross is going from place to place to stop anyone finding out that he slept with
it was
another
irritating.
It was
the
silly.
Best word
it was afraid to say, kids. Any fans of Stacey and Martin out there?
But so yeah, that was her day spent basically still not at work, just going around talking to each person, because they're trying to keep it really secret. Martin and Stacey,
well, they're doing
really
such a great
secret
job at keeping it secret that they decide in the middle of Albert Square that van's getting a lot of use, not just for sprouts and potatoes.
I know, it was like moving like a lot, and then there was like a queue forming to watch.
Yeah, one by one.
So weird.
Put a pound in the pot and have a quick look through the window.
And the police arrived.
Yes, police officer turned up,
on the door,
knocked on the door, said, "You're too old for this." Stacey's like, "Oi!" He's like, "Yes." She's like, "Nothing." And Martin shouts out, "She's my wife!" And the crowd cheer.
And then while they walk off with the wind blowing in her hair again.
Yeah. But as they walk off with Stacey wearing the trench coat again, as they walk off, Sonia looks, tilts her head and smiles. So Sonia's happy that they're together.
She's just happy she didn't have to
witness
that it got out around the square.
Well, that's probably another reason. But she seemed genuinely quite happy that they were together again. So that's nice. So I think now everyone knows the worst kept secret of Wolford this week has now been exposed.
Silly.
I'm
silly week for Martin.
It was a silly week.
Not really needed.
Well, there's no cat, so they can't really do a Slater storyline at the moment.
Haley's missing.
Haley's gone to either the off license or the abortion clinic. No one really knows.
Or both.
Yeah, or both.
So do you want to hear what the people of Instagram are saying?
Oh yeah, go on.
About Stacey and Martin. "This is the most annoying storyline ever, and it's just really nasty and embarrassing."
Yeah.
No, that could have saved us 10 minutes then.
We might as well just said that.
"Is it just me, but they really make Martin Fowler into a wimp?" Capital letters.
Block capitals for wimp?
Yeah. He would have just left Stacey a long time ago. The old Martin, apparently.
The old Martin? No, he wouldn't, because he fought the old Martin fought tooth and nail to Sonia in the old days with the old actor. He did.
Yeah. Considering that they were trying to keep it quiet, I thought that van was going to roll over. So yes, everyone is taking it as a big joke that it is, I think, this week.
Yes, it was never meant as a serious storyline, or I'd hope that it wasn't anyway. I mean, that van has paid for itself, so good old Martin for buying that van.
Yes, exactly. Doesn't smell of sprouts in there anymore.
No, it doesn't. Well, no.
So, should we have a little break now? And we've got something to talk about. It's not I'm doing this now. We're going to talk about...
Yes, I'm doing this now. We'll be back next week, all going well. But because on Saturday, just after we recorded, it was the British Soap Awards.
It was. So we're going to discuss what EastEnders won, what it didn't win,
and the stories.
All the controversy.
Yes.
Right, so welcome to the 2018 Soap Awards.
Lovely. I've just put on my tuxedo. Tied up my... Haven't you?
I refuse.
Oh, what are you wearing today?
I'm wearing, but my top button's not done up.
Oh, I thought you'd wear a nice red dress or something.
That will clash with the red carpet.
Oh, what colour dress would you wear then?
I don't know. Black.
Black dress.
Leopard print.
Very classy. That's better, yeah. With a feather boa or something. Makeup put on with a makeup gun.
Yes, so we got the Soap Awards. Did you want to talk about the awards first and then all the stuff that happened afterwards? Or?
Yeah, that sounds good. I mean, EastEnders didn't have a particularly...
Well, it was better than last year. It won nothing last year.
Didn't it?
No, that was the year when he got fired.
Oh,
Sean
right.
O'Connor was like,
that's when Danny Dyer went a bit nuts. I mean...
That was the year before, wasn't it? I can't remember.
Oh, I don't know. But they won 2 awards. 3 if you're going to include a special award.
Let's start.
I reckon best newcomer.
Well, I've got every single one here.
Oh,
so
have you?
You start.
Oh, okay.
So we're starting with... Let's just do it in order of what the official order is. So best British soap is at the top. So we know who the nominations are for that.
Yes, so it's Coronation Street, EastEnders, Hollyoaks, Doctors, and...
That's it.
Oh, is there only 4 soaps now on the Soap Awards? There used to be a 5th.
5. Emmerdale.
Oh, and Emmerdale, yeah.
And Coronation Street 1.
Of course. They have had a very strong year.
Yeah. Kate Oates. Marching it forward. So they won. EastEnders didn't win.
No.
Boo. Although, that's fine.
I mean, it's as we said, it's not... It's been...
Because it's not technically this year. It's like
it's
up to
year,
Christmas, isn't it?
Yeah. The threshold is 2017, pretty much January to December.
And like every single episode or nomination EastEnders gave this year was one episode.
And it was right at the end of the year when they were starting to
was a really good
out
one.
A little bit. And it was a good one, yeah.
Yeah. So if we go on to then Best Actor, EastEnders isn't on that.
We had no nominations at all.
No.
Oh dear.
2 from Corrie, 2 from Emmerdale, 1 from Hollyoaks. Coronation Street 1, Jack Shepherd.
Yes.
Which is good. We've seen a few of his episodes, and they're really
it's pretty
good.
decent. It's good.
Best Actress, we've got a nomination, Lacey Turner.
Of course.
Who previously always won. Always. Last year was the first year she didn't win.
Oh dear.
This year she didn't win again.
So she bucks the trend, and now it's started. It smells.
I bet she's fuming. Because she came back to EastEnders, and she had loads of her own TV shows. She had about 3 of her own TV shows.
I mean, I don't really understand why she came back to EastEnders, to be honest with you, because she was doing all right outside of the soap. She was being given work. Okay,
I don't know why she was nominated this year, because Stacey hasn't really had a big story. Last year's one was her Bipolar at Christmas, which she didn't win for. But this year, the year just gone, she's not really had a big story.
Well, her storyline was that she cheated on Martin and was always
Max.
kind of thinking about leaving him and this. I tell you who didn't get nominated and should have been. It wasn't even in the long list.
Who?
Lorna Fitzgerald.
Abby, yeah. Abby wasn't even there.
Well, we'll come to that in a minute. And snubbed as well, no less.
Who would you have nominated for Best Actress in EastEnders then, current, if you were on the judging panel?
I'll be honest with you, I don't think I...
There must be someone.
I mean, this year, now, I would say Bonnie Tyler. Is it Bonnie Tyler? No, it's Bonnie Langford. I always call her Bonnie Tyler. Total Eclipse of the Heart.
Yeah, Bonnie Langford's one of the best actresses. I think Diane Parrish is very good.
She's good. And
she had that storyline where she was poverty. That would have been...
but
she's still a good actress through it.
True. Kim as well. Kim Hubbard. She
used to be up for like best comedy quite a lot.
Yeah,
didn't she?
But she's had a lot more meatier storylines as of late. And again, I'd be disappointed if she's not even in the long list in the following soap awards. We're looking ahead now, I feel.
So we move on to Greatest Moment, which was a new award just for this year because it was 20th anniversary.
It was the 20th anniversary. So this is the greatest moments for the last 20 years in all of soap. Now this, to me, had me in a bit of a meltdown.
So shall I go through the nominations? We've got Hollyoaks, which is Jade saying goodbye to Alfie.
Yeah.
Which was it was a cancer storyline where his best friend died in his arms. You've got EastEnders, You Ain't My Mother from 2001.
Excellent.
Which
is amazing.
Not being biased, but that should win.
I mean, that's... Yes, well, we'll continue.
We've got Doctors, which I've never seen. Vivian's Rape. Coronation Street is Richard Hillman drives the family into the canal, which again is a really well-known scene.
And I used to watch Coronation Street when that happened.
And then Emmerdale, 2016, the Houghton bypass crash, which was a lot of things crashing and people jumping off bridges.
Lots of stunts, lots of fireworks, lots of explosions, lots of camera angles, lots of fast cuts.
So I would have had my money on EastEnders or Coronation Street winning this.
Same.
Only because they're moments from 2001, 2003. So they're really long time ago, and they're still talked about.
Which is exactly my point. They're both the stunt in Coronation Street with Richard Hillman and the You Ain't My Mother that You Ain't My Mother is still quoted.
I know. Michelle said it last month on the show.
Exactly, we talk about it, that they still quote it on EastEnders.
Yeah.
The social impact that both those storylines had given the nation, or given the viewer and the people who watched the viewer, is so much greater than the Emmerdale story. I mean, other than when it actually happened and it was getting the promotion it was getting, I've not heard of it since.
It's not something you're going to look back at, and it was only like 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's not a cultural greatest moment.
Because I said to you when we were watching that, I thought, is Emmerdale going to nominate the helicopter crash when they reformatted the show?
Which is what I thought they were. I
thought that might have been the greatest moment, or the moment when there was the storm and that.
Oh yeah,
like the chimney fell on like that really popular character, but they chose that one, which was like 2 years ago, and that won an award last year. Just seems a bit cheap to me, but they won.
The thing is, the soap decided what scene they were going to put forward, and I agree with you. I think that was a dirty trick by Emmerdale, just to get
fresh in people's minds.
It's fresh in people's minds, and I agree. I think if Emmerdale had put forward that helicopter crash where they did a mass cull of the soap, because
it changed from Emmerdale Farm to Emmerdale,
literally overnight. It changed its titles and everything,
and that's much more greater moment. So I'd be fine with that.
And a lot of people on Twitter, because I was on Twitter at the time, were fuming about that. No one agreed with it. But it was voted by the public, so it's your own fault. Boo.
So next is Villain of the Year, which I don't know if this is the Villain of the Year. On EastEnders, we had Max Branning as nomination.
No, he didn't win it.
I know, but I don't even see him as a villain on EastEnders. Really
annoying of the year.
Surely James Whitmore Brown should have been the villain.
Oh yeah, actually.
I think it's too early for Aidan. Because Aidan came in January-ish, didn't he?
No, you always say this. He came in.
Oh, was it December?
Oh no, I'm sorry. I correct myself. Rewind. You're quite right. It's January.
It's just after the cut-off, probably.
Yes.
But Max Branning's not the villain of the year. He's not a villain.
Aidan, actually, again, looking forward. Aidan, I reckon
if he comes back, he went.
I don't think he needs to come back. I think
he'll be out of people's minds by then.
He's not out of my mind.
He's out of mine. He's not out of Mel's mind either.
No, always constantly referring.
Hunter could be villain of the year. Anyway, so the villain of the year, the winner was Coronation Street with Pat. Obviously,
of course it was.
Come up, that's been like 4 years in the running.
Again, a good storyline though. Good for them for really doing that one.
So we've got best male dramatic performance. EastEnders didn't win again. This is really not good for Jake Wood this year, because he was nominated for six or eight, because his storyline
was picked.
And I think he only won one, which wasn't even really him.
Well, yeah, that was
best scene
of the year.
So best male actor was Jake Wood on EastEnders nominating. Anyone you would nominate over Max Branning?
For best actor?
Yeah, Jack Branning.
I mean, he is a powerhouse, is old Jack. But I just maybe have to put him to one side on this occasion. I thought Richard Blackwood was quite good. Didn't have a problem with Richard Blackwood this year.
Okay.
Just passed. No, genuinely, I didn't. I mean,
male performance. Keegan, he's
not really had a lot to do, has he? I'm just waiting for his storyline with Sharon. Talking of Sharon, actress. I can't believe I never said that. Letitia Dean.
I know, she was on the short list.
She was on the long list.
Sorry.
She was on the long list, but no one, despite our efforts, voted for her enough to get her on the short list. Best actor, Richard Blackwood, I would probably say. Okay. Actors are a bit few and far between. They were, but actually, there's a few good ones. Keegan. Excellent.
I just said Keegan.
Oh, did you? Sorry, I thought you said Keanu.
No.
Oh, then I made the mistake. I'm waiting for Keanu's storyline with Sharon next year.
Oh, right, yeah. Yeah, I think there's better
Shaquille.
ones.
But then again, that's...
Shaquille wasn't even in it. He wasn't in it last year.
Yeah, but this year...
No, he's not best actor.
No.
Although he was doing interviews on the red carpet.
He was. Looking very suave.
Yeah. Got white hair now.
Yeah.
So the winner was Hollyoaks for best actor. Can you believe it or not?
No, everyone always writes off Hollyoaks. There are sometimes moments of good from Hollyoaks. Sometimes.
So we've got best female dramatic performance next.
Female dramatic performance, Sharon.
The only one who was nominated was Lacey Turner again.
Of course.
And she didn't win.
Of course.
And the winner was Coronation Street again, Bethany Platt, which was a really good storyline because that was like a grooming storyline.
Yes.
So yeah, that's all good. Best storyline, we've got Max again. Karma for Max was the storyline title. But the winner was Hollyoaks with Self-Harm.
Yes, and there was a bit of a controversy with that, wasn't there? When they announced Hollyoaks and
Jacqueline Josser.
Yeah,
there was a bit of a thing.
Well, she was
with
caught.
Lacey Turner.
Yeah, turning over to Lacey Turner and saying they all self-harm.
Or something.
Or something like that. And a lot of people
She's cleared it up on Instagram.
Has she?
She
Not
has.
on her YouTube
channel. She did
channel.
an Instagram story.
Oh, good.
With like a really long paragraph. Basically, because it was really noisy and everyone was clapping and laughing, Lacey Turner turned to her and said, "What's this storyline about?" And she said, "Oh, I don't know. I don't watch it. They all self-harm." Something about they all self-harm, which because the clip they showed was 3 girls on a bed self-harm.
Right.
So that's apparently what it was. Innocent.
So it's taken out of context.
Yes, like everything.
I think most things, yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, Karma for Max was best storyline. That was obviously that was Max. So,
I mean, yeah, it was a nice storyline.
It was the main storyline that year, I guess.
It was the only really storyline that year.
So we got best newcomer. Here we go.
Here we go. Get yourselves ready. Buckle
Nominations. We got Karen Taylor, EastEnders,
and
she won. So...
she was the only one nominated, and she won.
No, those are the ones. I don't know who they are. I have no idea any of these newcomers are.
Oh, okay.
Emmerdale, we got Graham Foster. Doctors, we got Austin Longsdale. Coronation Street, we got Nicola Rubenstein. And Hollyoaks is Lily Hutchinson.
Lovely.
And Karen Taylor won, much deserved.
Absolutely, 100% deserved.
Things are looking good for the Taylors now.
Yeah, I think the Taylors are basically cemented themselves in the soap now. Last year, it was a Taylor win as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, Keanu won, yeah. And then Keegan's had a really strong year.
But I think, well, there's no point in doing Best Newcomer with Keegan now.
No.
I reckon he'll leapfrog to either dramatic performance or Best Actor.
So it's all looking good for them.
Yeah, good job.
Okay, so next is Best Young Actor. Tiffany was up for this award.
Oh.
Now, I didn't know if she was a bit old for Young Actor award, because she's not that young.
She's won it once already, hasn't she? Didn't she win it? Or she won Best Newcomer, one of the two, a few years back.
But like, she was by far the oldest actor category. Or maybe she just looks old, I don't know. But she didn't win. It went to Emmerdale, which was called Liv Fernley. She was a very confident young girl when I saw her acceptance
Stage school, you see. Stage school kids.
She was more confident than Karen Taylor was talking.
I love Karen Taylor. I love
amazing.
Lorraine. She's fantastic.
So Best On-Screen Partnership. We have another nomination here.
Ooh.
We've got Jake Wood and Lacey Turner.
Of course they are.
Is that really an online on-screen partnership?
Well, they had
one episode where they had an affair, but it's not really a...
Well, it wasn't one episode.
It's a partnership.
It kind of built up to that one episode, didn't it? But no, I agree with you. I think it's just...
That could have gone to Kim and Vincent, or Mick and Linda.
Or Kim and Dee.
Yeah, Kim and Dee. Yeah,
doesn't have to be a male and female.
Yeah, brother and sister.
Brother and sister, sister and sister.
Yeah, sorry. I don't know. I'm thinking of Vincent for some reason.
Outing them in.
Robbie and Donna.
Robbie and Donna?
That's next year.
Shrimpy and his mate?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see that as a best on-screen partnership, so I don't think they should have won, and they didn't. But that's just silly.
I mean, I do...
Like, Stacey and Martin is more of an on-screen partnership.
I love Lacey Turner. I love Jake Wood. They're good. They're fine. They're great. It's just that I hate that they monopolise these awards. Yeah. They're a bit like... Alfie,
and Dec.
Or Anna Dec. But Alfie and Kat, they used to always monopolise the awards.
Well, they didn't win any this year, so... Right, best single episode.
Yeah.
EastEnders has Max's Last Stand. I think this was the episode where they fall off the roof.
Oh, right.
Didn't win. Hollyoaks won.
Oh, did they?
3 mothers, 3 daughters. That was a self-harm episode,
I was going to say, is that they all self-harm?
Yeah. So, yeah. And then best comedy performance. Now, this nomination, I highly disagree with. Masood.
Oh, okay.
That was the nomination for EastEnders.
Comedy?
What, Samosas? That wasn't this... That was last year. He left last year, didn't he?
Yeah.
So I don't know what he did funny last year.
I don't know. He's done anything funny.
No, never. Kim should have been up for that.
Yeah. Well, no, Kim had a bit of a darker year last year.
Oh, she's still funnier than Masood.
Well, no, quite.
Masood wasn't even there half the year.
I mean, EastEnders isn't ever really known for its comedy, is it?
Karen, she's funny. She has funny scenes.
Again, she's had well, no, I suppose more recently she's been had a bit more serious.
But
sorry.
But yeah, they didn't win.
But no,
it went to Doctors.
Oh, did it? Doctors won something. Yeah. Oh, lucky them.
And then Scene of the Year.
Yes.
Now, this was kind of a win for EastEnders. A joint win for the first time ever. So
but,
joint.
Something interesting to point out also, this wasn't voted by the public. This was voted by a judging panel. So the fact that they came to a joint...
Yeah.
You think they'd have to re-vote again.
So the winners was Doctors with A Bollywood Proposal.
Ooh.
And EastEnders with Lauren and Abby's Rooftop Fool.
Yeah.
Good old Abby.
So obviously it's called Lauren and Abby's Rooftop Fool. So who should go up and do the speech for the award? For someone who dearly wanted an award that night.
Yeah, Jake Wood.
Yeah.
And Jacqueline Josser went up.
And
he didn't even he didn't thank Abby.
Didn't even acknowledge her.
Didn't say Lorna Fitzgerald. What's going on?
Yes. Which was rude because that was a scene with all three of them.
Yeah, and Abby's the one that died.
Yeah.
And had like all the good scenes of like her life support being switched off and stuff.
I mean, do you think it was Lorna's choice not to turn up at the award ceremony?
I don't know. I've looked on her social media, no mention.
It'd be a shame if she had been snubbed her last. Well, I say her last. She could join another soap, I guess. She could do Hollyoaks.
Hollyoaks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. And then last award was Outstanding Achievement Award, which EastEnders won.
Again, a kind of win for EastEnders.
Was Patrick.
Yes, Rudolph Walker.
Yeah, he was very shocked. He was really upset with all the cast because he said, "I thought you were my friends and you didn't tell me."
Yes.
And he came up and did a speech, and Diane Parrish was sat next to him, Denise, and she was going mental.
Yeah, I mean, he did a really dignified speech as well. It was a really good speech, and it was presented by Fluella Benjamin, and anyone of a certain age would know her from Play School.
No, it was nice seeing those clips of Patrick though. All those old clips, you forget how long he's been in it, and he's had some decent storylines actually.
And also, they show clips of him before and his acting. You know how he cut his teeth on stage, and you know he's a decent actor.
Yeah, give Patrick a storyline.
Give Patrick a storyline.
Yeah.
So I mean, that was the awards ceremony. That was the glitz and glamour of the night. But then behind the scenes, there was a few plasters sticking.
Yeah, a few missing faces.
Yeah.
Because I was looking on Twitter and I saw that Kate Jarvis, who plays Hayley, said something's come up, so I can't make it anymore.
Yes, curious. And then we found out that the reason why
Jessie Wallace
wasn't there was because she'd. True
Turned
to her
into
character, did a Cat Slater for the night and had a bit too much to drink and was told by, was it the BBC producers of the BBC?
I'm not sure,
or was it ITV?
So she wasn't allowed in.
She wasn't allowed to go in. I mean, was she photographed on the red carpet?
No, just in a taxi.
Just turned away by security.
So yeah, really. I don't know if Hayley was going with her, and that's why Hayley couldn't go.
Which is
do you think?
Yeah, that seems to be the natural link.
I don't know. Dawood couldn't go either. Kush, he said something had come up and he wasn't going.
Oh dear.
So yeah, Bonnie Langford was there with Shaquille, I think.
On her own. Well, so the son that's died is with her. The son that's still alive is not there.
Yeah.
There was a moment also live on TV, which I didn't spot until after I read about it, where Danny Dyer squared up to Philip Schofield while he was doing
that was like a joke though.
A lot of people were saying it wasn't, because Danny Dyer apologised afterwards.
No, Philip Schofield was joking with him.
Well, there's a bit of... Because obviously Danny Dyer's got a bit of a history at the soap awards.
He's a character actor.
He really is, getting angry and violent at people. His daughter's on Love Island.
Yes. Danny Dyer.
Danny Dyer Jr., I guess it would be, if it was his daughter.
So, yeah.
And Claire Norris had a bit of stick as well from people on Twitter, which was deeply unfair.
But she put him down, didn't she?
She did.
They were fat shaming her and a few other people, yeah.
Which is pathetic. Again, you know, she's got probably more talent on her little finger than a lot of people on Twitter who was being pretty cruel to her. She's you know, as Bernie, she's great. We love Bernie. We're Team Bernie here. And she quite eloquently just put them down in a tweet back to them.
Now, can I just ask? They used to do sexiest male, sexiest female, and so forth. Yes. They don't do it anymore because it's not as PC.
No.
I mean, if it was still on, who would you put forward for nominations?
Sexiest male?
Sexiest male and female.
Well,
on EastEnders. As
a strapping lad myself, I would say for sexiest male, Kush, because he's quite sexy. Or Keanu, or Keegan.
I think Keegan or Kush would be put up.
Not Keanu?
No.
Wow.
Well, I'm just saying.
You would lie. You would if
not Kush Keanu. Keegan. No, wait. I'm getting them confused. Keanu and Kush, not Keegan.
Oh, okay, not Keegan.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so I mean, I can't remember who used to be up for sexiest female on EastEnders all the time. Would it be Lacey Turner again?
Kathy.
She did look quite saucy.
She had
Although
the necklace.
Donna looked really saucy.
I know. Donna looked great. Donna
Also, it was her 40th birthday the other day.
Yeah, I know.
40.
She was great
I
for
thought she was like 32 or something, or 28.
Looks great for it. Good on you, Donna.
Yeah.
Tell us what your secret is, please. Tweet us.
Yeah, amazing. But sexiest female.
Sexiest female. I'm presuming it's going to be
Lacey Turner.
No.
It would be Tilly Keeper, wouldn't it? Louise. Everyone loves her.
Yeah.
It'd be her. She'd be Bex. Hunter. He be up for sexiest male?
Oh, the sexiest male? No, he's a skinny little runt.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just talking about general.
Oh, I suppose I don't know. No.
Danny Dyer.
No, sadly no. Danny Dyer's great.
A
few years back, yeah, when he was a bit younger, when he was doing
Jack
Human Traffic. No.
Max Branning used to be up for it a bit, didn't he?
Did he?
I think, yeah. I should have looked up previous sexiest males.
That's another topic for another day.
Yeah. But anyway, that was this year's Soap Awards.
Yes.
Roundup. So we came home with 3 awards, one that we were sharing and one that was given to us.
Technically given to us out of pity.
I blame Jake Wood.
I do too. I mean, stop emphasising on Jake Wood's story so much. Give him something else to do. Make him a bit more of a background character for a bit.
I don't miss him at the moment.
Time to shine. No, he hasn't been on for a while.
And it's been nice.
Yes.
So yeah, that was the Soap Awards.
So high hopes for next year.
Yes, we do. So I don't have high hopes for this storyline. The way it's been going this week, we've had sort of like a weird Inspector Jack Branning storyline.
Who stole
I've not
the
been
money?
enjoying. Yeah, who stole the money from the Vic? The Vic E20. Previously the Phoenix.
Yeah, was it?
So £15,000 gone missing, which we know about. Sharon and Phil have now noticed it and called a meeting. Everyone's there. Woody's there. Billy's there. Mo's there. Jean's there. Mel didn't get told, but she turned up, and everyone was waiting for her. And the money's gone missing. And whoever locked up that night, it's their fault, and they have to find it back.
Phil doesn't want the police involved.
No, not going to the police. They don't want them sniffing around.
Don't want sniffing around because, when they're doing an investigation over a burglary, the first thing they do is look into your criminal past.
And even though Phil went into the E20 on launch night with a baseball bat.
Yes. And subsequently.
So yeah, we've got this sort of ongoing who stole the money thing happening, where we have Mel. They've basically said, Mel, it's your job to work out who did it because you locked up.
Sharon suggested that she was responsible.
Silly.
One way or another. She has to find the money.
And Mel's just like, just go to the insurance and it's all sorted. No, don't want the police involved.
Need a police report. Don't want to do that.
So Mel's clutching at straws.
So her first plan, Ian Beale.
Yeah, goes on a date. Well, she wants food at the club, allegedly.
Yes.
So she says, you made me fish and chips once.
Yeah.
Why don't you do that again? I might give you business.
It was the best fish and chips I've ever had.
So he has it round hers and he cooks it all for her. She's in a blue dress.
Yes.
She's had a shower. Straightened her hair. Put on her makeup. And she says, you know what, I'd quite like some tomato sauce. Thinking he wouldn't have any tomato sauce at home, but he did. So then she says, actually, I'd like some, pickled eggs? Pickled onions?
Pickled egg?
And they only do them at Bill's Palace.
Bill's Place?
Palace. Bill's Place.
She was already at Bill's Palace.
She was upstairs. So, Hugo runs off for her because it's Mel.
Because he thinks, because she said, I will do anything. And he thinks anything leads to...
upstairs.
Anyway,
Bill's Palace.
Bill's Palace. His crown jewels.
So he goes off to get some eggs for her or whatever it is.
Pickled eggs
onions
and ketchup from the cafe.
So she then snoops around the house and we sort of work out that she's looking for Kathy's necklace.
Yes.
Because she did mention it, didn't she?
She says, something I noticed, your mum is so glamorous. And he's like, is she? She said, yeah, she's really glamorous. Oh, it must be that necklace she used to wear. That huge,
that
great big bald one that she used to wear in the cafe.
She's not worn it for a few weeks. We did notice that, didn't we?
Yes.
So, but she didn't find it. She went upstairs in the bedroom.
She went upstairs. She had a look around the lounge.
She thought maybe it's in the lounge for some reason.
Yeah. Well, she found a box in the lounge.
Yeah.
She was like,
nothing in it.
And then there's nothing in it. Yeah.
And then he sort of came back, but she went at the same time.
Wait, she heard him come through the door. The slowest entrance ever by any character in EastEnders. And she kind of did her kind of Scooby-Doo sneaking out of the front door.
And texted him as she went saying, Hunter's ill or something stupid.
Hunter's dead or something. I don't know.
So she's down on her morals because she didn't find the necklace. Phil gives her an ultimatum saying by the end of the week.
Yes. she's like, well, this doesn't work good sense for you, because if I go,
I know.
you chuck me out, then you don't get the money I owe you the first time around, or the £15,000.
Or a manager.
Yeah, or a
Sharon
manager.
will have to work.
Yeah,
which
Sharon.
can't happen.
Feels like, I don't care. Bye.
Yeah, so she sort of consoles in Jack, doesn't she? Because he used to be a copper.
Well, Jack overheard the following day over some pickled eggs that that Kathy had brought in from the house, from Bill Palace to the cafe. And Ian's like, what are they doing there? And Kathy's like, you tell me. And he's like, well, actually, Mel and I had a bit of a date, and she said that she wanted a pickled egg, and I obliged. And Jack's in the background doing his best frumpy, angry, drinking tea acting. As
How
best
dare
as
she go on a date with you and not me?
Clenched his fist round the mug, because he can only act if he's got one clenched fist. And he's like rolling his eyes at Ian's suggestion that, you know, him and her had a great day and had a great night, and that she enjoyed his food. So she then goes and visits Mel and has it out with her. It's like, what are you doing with me and Bill? Why are you with me and Bill? Like that.
I don't remember that happening. Very odd. Can't remember Jack saying that at all.
It's because the impression.
It's just the bad impression, isn't it?
It's the uncanny impression.
So she sort of says, well, you're an ex-copper, you should be able to help. So
in a
way, that's what it says.
He does his best at being a misogynistic idiot, and basically it kind of suggests that she kind of uses her allure, and he suggests that we don't have to involve the police technically, but using my police techniques that I've learnt over my time as being a detective, and also some friends that I met that I can ask for a few favours, we can crack this case together.
I hated this episode, Tuesdays.
Oh, it's just ridiculous. So they questioned Billy.
The last 10 minutes of it, I've had to rewatch it like 4 times because I just keep pittering out.
Nodding off.
Like, it's just ridiculous. They're doing like this weird, like, good cop, bad cop duo with Mel and Jack, and they're sort of interviewing the suspects.
Yeah, and every time they kind of stick their foot in it, don't they? It's like, oh, Billy, this is how I would have done it if I had done it. Oh, is that you confessing, Billy?
Yeah, no. And then they talk to Woody and say, well, we would talk to Billy, but who would believe anything he'd say?
Yeah.
But we're talking to you, Woody, but we don't think it's you either, Woody. And it's like, it's just so pointless.
Although Woody did come up, Woody, the only one who came up with a great, the great.
Is it a great idea?
Well, it's a better idea than Jack, the great detective, came up with, and that is that basically they drank from a bottle that no one else drinks from. Perhaps here's an idea. There's fingerprints on it. Let's have a look at it.
This is silly.
Yeah. Well, it came up with fruition because Jack did that with his mates at the Met.
Stupid. Surely there'll be loads of fingerprints on it. Like all the people that have handled the bottles.
No, because Woody said that
someone must have put it on the shelf.
Yes.
Someone must have ticked it off as stock. Like stuff like that is so stupid. Also, if the person who stole the money hasn't got a criminal record, they wouldn't be able to have their fingerprints.
Here lies the fault of the storyline.
Yes, because he got Duff Duff, old Jack.
Well, Jack got Duff Duff after he asked Mel what was in it for him if he got his friends to help him out. So here we go, tick number 1 for his misogynism. And and he gets a phone call from his mate, and they say, oh, we got a clean fingerprint on it. And he puts the phone down. And he's like, and then like, oh no, who could it be?
Who is it?
So another day passes, and the storyline continues. And Jack goes and visits Keegan.
He does. It's his fingerprints.
At the same time, Bernie.
Because his fingerprints are on a bottle, that means he's definitely done it.
I mean, he later confesses that there are other fingerprints. Again, after Keegan brings it up. So Jack, master detective, Keegan basically says, I would never do anything like that, especially after what's just happened with me and Jackie. Do you think I'm an idiot? Do you think I'm a fool? Jack obviously gets the fingerprints because Keegan has a criminal record, and the whole time Bernie's listening. Jack, again, king as he leaves the flat after he says to Keegan, well, Phil's going to know about this, so you better sort something out, or else Phil's going to be on your back. Opens the door because Bernie's listening in. He goes, did you get all that? And then storms out. It's like, Jack, you really are a horrible prat. He's just so unlikable. So unlikable. I mean, horrible. He's so unlikable that at the end of the storyline, anyway.
So in between the investigation of Jack, we also have some scenes with Wolford's teens.
Yes.
They have a group meeting in the cafe.
A full scene though. We counted it.
It was quite long.
We clocked it in at 9 minutes. No cuts away. They did a full 9 minutes.
So they were all discussing who has the money. £15,000. Bex is shocked at the amount.
Bex can't quite believe
Tiffany's not turned up.
Yes, but why?
But she's not guilty, says Bernie.
But then Bernie would say, Tiffany could literally set an animal on fire and Bernie would be like, no, I want it.
And yeah, they're all having like, Hunter and Keegan seem to be having it out, don't they, for each other, blaming each other.
Well, because there's the underlying storyline with Keegan, Hunter and
Louise's kiss.
Because, yes, Keegan likes Louise, and now Keegan is going to find any way to get Hunter out of Louise's life. We've also got the text mystery of I know what you did last night. Last night, yes. So they all admit that they got that text message.
Yeah, because originally we thought it was just Louise and Keegan, and they meant I know what you did as in you kissed each other.
Yes.
But no, everyone got the text.
Everyone got the text. Bernie got the text. But I guess Tiffany got the text.
Now Master Manipulator did this.
Yes. And Master Detective, Keegan, not Jack.
So he decided, I might text this number actually.
Yeah, well he asks Hunter if he's got his phone on him, and Hunter's, what teenager doesn't take his phone with him out and about? Anyway, Hunter, unless he's got a dual SIM. I never thought of that.
He has 2 phones, doesn't he? One to send mean texts on, but didn't put it on silent.
No, it's
big mistake.
Because then Keegan texts it back and he goes, boom, 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 and then they all do it. And they all realise that it was Hunter who sent that text saying, I know what you did last night.
It's just a joke.
Yeah, it's just having a bit of fun. I was trying to lighten the moment. Yeah. And that's when Bex, when he said, I'm just trying to lighten the moment, that's when Bex said, but what would Shaquille wanted? What would Shaquille wanted? And Louise also asked Hunter if it was a burner, as talking about the mobile phone, as in something you just get rid of once you're done with. I mean, I thought that was the last time I heard that was, I think, Breaking Bad or something like that.
So yeah, they all walk off in a huff. And they all go to Bex's.
Well, they all go their separate ways and then all decide to meet up again. And when Louise turns up separate to Hunter, and then Hunter turns up, and Bex tries to close the door on him, and he's like, "No, let me in. I'm part of this too. I like Shaquille too." And she's like, "Yeah, if you like Shaquille, you would think of Shaquille. If you'd liked him, you would never send those messages out." And then Hunter looks up and says, "Yeah, but I want to spend some quality time with my girl." And then walks towards Louise, goes to take Louise's hand, and Louise brushes it off.
Keegan's in now, isn't he?
Well,
it's all looking good for Keegan.
Step 1, not too bad. In the meantime,
Jack, let's go back to these.
Yeah, Jack has gone back to Mel and explained to Mel that they got some fingerprints, and he's spoken to who it was, and in no time they'll come clean and it'll be okay. And I've written this down, and Mel says, "Keep it up. You might just get a pat on the head." And Jack says, "You won't be stopping there." I know. Doesn't it make you sick?
He's so disgusting.
Keegan realises that Hunter will go to a boarding school if he's naughty one more time.
Says on Dot's sofa.
On Dot's sofa.
She says, if he's bad one more time, Mel's going to send him away. And I might just tell her.
It's what Keegan...
It's what Shaquille would have done. So yeah, that puts a seed of thought into Keegan's head.
Well, Keegan's then like, I better go then. Off to E20, formerly the Phoenix.
Yes.
And goes and speaks to Jack. And Jack takes Keegan to a table away from Mel. Some wonderful phone acting by Mel in the background, over-exaggerating her swipes and pressing the phone.
Tinder.
She had it right up to her. I don't know if the actress needs glasses, or whether she's acting that Mel should be wearing glasses or contact lenses.
Maybe that's why she finds Jack attractive.
Maybe. She had the phone quite high up and up to her eyes, which was fun to see. But anyway, that distracted me. So as I rewound and actually listened to what Keegan and Jack were talking about, Keegan says, perhaps you should be looking for someone who's a bit of a mummy's boy, someone who knows how to manipulate his own mother.
Yes. And
Jack, again, takes a minute to think about it. And then realises, hang on, perhaps he's talking about Hunter. Duff, 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 duff.
So they have like scenes in Mel's house because he comes in and wants to talk to Hunter on his own.
Yes, so the last episode begins with him going in and he's like, "Oh, you're here for Mum?" He's like, "No, I'm not here for Mum. I'm here for you." And then Mel comes walking down. It's like, "Oh, hi, Jack. Have you solved the mystery then?"
Yeah, and then Hunter sort of calls his bluff and says, "Oh no, he wanted to say something to me, Mum," and like looks at him.
Yeah, and he says, "Oh, never mind that. What, are you taking the day off work?" And Mel's like, "No, I'm just taking the morning off because Hunter's not feeling very well." And anyway, yeah. He's like, and then Mel's like, and anyway, Hunter's told me everything about the break-in at the club with his friends. So you don't need to start accusing Hunter for anything. And Hunter's kind of just stood there like, got away with this.
Scheming.
Yes.
And he sort of Jack sort of says he wants to get Mel out of the house, basically, doesn't he? So he says, "Oh, there's police at the club. Did you not know?" or something. And she goes, "What?" and runs out, and that leaves obviously Jack and Hunter alone in the house.
To have a heart-to-heart, and this is where
bit of a weird heart-to-heart.
Yeah, well, this is where Jack kind of tries to intimidate Hunter. He kind of goes over and says, "You know, I've heard a few stories. When I was in the force, I heard a few stories about Steve Owen, drugs, girls,
murder, abuse.
Yeah, you know, you should be proud of yourself. You know, you're not turned into your dad, or not so proud because you're a whining little mummy's boy."
Yeah,
who's got daddy issues.
Yeah, well, we all know that Hunter's mission in life is to be 88% psychopath.
Yes, and
to be as close to what he thinks his dad is as possible.
101% Steve Owen. You know, Hunter's taking this not well at all. No, he's got his angry eyes. I mean, like last week I was saying, like, "Oh, Hunter, he's annoying me now." But actually, this week I was like, "Yeah, Hunter."
It's because he's going against Jack.
That's right. That's true. Anyone who goes against Jack is fine by my book. But Jack shakes his hand. It was to say, like, "I know it was you, so don't try it on," and winks at Hunter. So he shakes his hand and winks at Hunter, and leaves. Also, something else I noticed. Completely random. Jack obviously hasn't got Ingrid dressing him anymore because his jeans were very ill-fitted.
Oh, were they?
Yeah.
I try not to look below his head.
Well, if you look below his head, you just see a clenched fist.
I know.
Clenched fist acting.
Why is he clenching his fist all the time? Do you think he's counting words for his next line?
Oh, he might be. Because
it's always one of his hands is clenched and he's like moving his fingers. Yeah. So he must be counting for his cue for his line, mustn't he?
I mean, they've cast the Brannings well because both him and Max Branning like to shuffle as well while they're saying their lines. They shuffle.
And spit and snot everywhere.
Yeah.
So, we then have like a scene of like Hunter rinsing a towel at the sink.
Yeah, making a towel wet and wrapping it tight around his fist, and he's taking deep breaths, so you know he's thinking of doing something. I thought he might have been punching a mirror because he thinks, "Oh no, I've been found out." Yeah,
trying to get rid of his anger somehow.
Mel then, a few scenes happen. Mel then walks back in and you see blood over the sink. And again, don't think much of it. Think maybe he's punched something.
Yeah, cut his hand or something.
Fist. And then you see Jack's house and there's a big knock at the door. Mel comes storming in and pushes Jack back. "Don't you touch my son. Don't you come near me again." And Hunter turns around and he's got a black eye. He's got a black eye, so he's punched himself in the eye.
It's quite difficult, actually. Like,
I can't imagine how you do it.
Which hand did you? I don't know.
Did you use your left hand for your right eye?
No, he did it.
He did it. He succeeded. And and he's like, with Jack again.
Me. I didn't do it.
But yeah, again, stupidly he says, "It wasn't me. Tell her, Hunter." It's like, yeah, Hunter's going to suddenly be there. "Oh, hang on, yeah, it wasn't him. It was me all along."
Tell her, Hunter, or else I'll punch you.
Yeah. And this time in the face. Yeah. Oh, hang on, you've done that already.
So we got that, and then we also got which is fast becoming his sort of trademark.
Yes,
his wink and shuffle of his tie.
Shuffling his way. He didn't have a tie on.
Oh, didn't
he? Just had a shirt on.
Oh, he shuffled. Did he do something to it? His top button?
He straightened his top.
Yeah, and then wink.
And then a quick wink.
We've seen him do that before on CCTV.
Oh yeah, he's becoming a bit of a winker. I mean, as I was saying previously, because Jack is so horrible, it made me support Hunter in this storyline, and in a funny way also I'm kind of liking Hunter. Like you love to hate. There's characters you love to hate, and Hunter's now fast becoming one of those. So he is a horrible character. He's annoying and you just scream every time he's on the screen, but at the same time you're like, yeah, but he's obviously being done very well. Anyone on Instagram got any opinions?
There's a few. There's one that says, "Mel is so stupid." "You would believe your child, we get that. But first of all, before lashing out, she knows what Jack is about. She should have sat down with him like adults and talk. Secondly, She of all people knows Hunter inside and out, and she should know what he's capable of. This is so stupid.
So stupid. I mean,
Hunter is a psycho. He is sick and I hate him. Louise should be with Keegan.
Yes, well, I agree with that.
It's an unpopular opinion on here, but I quite like Hunter, and I think Charlie Winter is quite good, even if there's room for improvement.
Oh, I mean, I think Charlie Winters is great, actually. I think he's a good actor. Best newcomer perhaps next year for the Soap Awards. Definitely to consider. What was the first comment about Mel?
Mel should know him.
I mean, Mel should know him because of the whole Michelle incident where Hunter had lied that Michelle had touched him. So she knows. But I think in the back of her head, she knows that he's lying, but she doesn't want to admit it.
Yeah.
It's her last thread of Steve, isn't it? It's her last memory of Steve Owen is her son.
So shall we quickly go on and talk about Kim? I mean, there's not a whole lot. She has sort of had 3 episodes where she was doing the same thing, really, and then 1 episode at the police station. Yeah. So it's her finding out, well, she's like sniffing coffee and aftershave and feeling sick.
Yes, and Dee suggests perhaps
pregnancy test is needed. Yeah,
and she is pregnant. So this steps Kim up a gear a little bit because it makes Kim realise that okay, now I've got 2 children with Vincent. Perhaps I should make a little bit more of an effort to try to actually find him. Because she said that her Pearl cries herself to sleep every night wanting her daddy.
It's news to me.
Pearl's gone missing, hasn't she? Just realised that.
At school. So she spends the week sort of sorting through his clothes and his aftershave, drinking some of his brandy,
burning it,
selling some of his clothes. Robbie takes his jacket, his leather jacket.
It doesn't fit.
That's important though. The leather jacket.
It is important. It doesn't fit Robbie, even though Robbie loves it because it's cool.
That's because like Richard Black was like massively muscular.
He did say that wearing oversized clothes is in right now.
Oh, okay.
Hence his duffel
jacket. It did smell though, apparently.
Yes,
it smelled funny.
It's just because Kim said that because she was being sick over any smell. Robbie goes back to Kim because he wants a refund for his coat. She's like, "What do you want me to do about it?" He then said, "Donna won't give me a refund. His girlfriend won't give him a refund."
Well,
how tight is Donna?
She's got that flat to pay for with 5 empty rooms, isn't she?
Yeah, but that is tight. Your own girlfriend won't give you the money back for the jacket.
Well, Robbie needs to learn.
Bad Robbie.
Yeah.
Hit a newspaper.
So he's found lots of passports in his pocket.
With 3 passports.
Kim didn't notice her own passport was missing. I suppose you wouldn't really look.
You wouldn't unless you're going on holiday.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know where my passport is now.
So yeah, he found the family's passports in Vincent's jacket.
Which makes her put 2 and 2 together and realise, well, he kind of left the country. Because prior to this, she had a conversation with Phil.
Yes.
Now, this
wasn't Phil's cleverest moment.
It certainly was not. Phil proper slipped up this time because he said that Vincent asked him to just kind of give her the money, the £10,000, because first of all she questions, why did you give us so much? You're not that generous, Phil.
Because the car wasn't worth that much.
Yeah. Then she said, and why were you so nice to me in the cafe? And Phil kind of shrugs it off with, well, what can I be nice to you? Am I really that bad a person? It's like, well, no, Phil, you scare half the square, as we discovered with Bernie. He scares me. And then he was like, I think he had enough at this point, and he was just like, well, he's gone abroad because with another woman who's less naggy and more loving. So
that was his slip up. He shouldn't have said anything.
No,
because he was already standing there when he went missing, and Kim remember the night, and he said, "I didn't see nothing."
No, you're absolutely 100% right.
So yeah, he really slips up there.
Well, because then if Kim puts 2 and 2 together, she would have realised that between her asking him that and then the time she's asked him again, he must have spoken fictitiously. Must have spoken to Vincent.
Yeah. So she decides to go to the police and report him missing finally.
Yes. And who should be the police officer who does the report?
Because they ignore her for a while.
They do, and she bumps into Ian, and she's a bit embarrassed that she's at the police station. But she doesn't really. To be fair, again, Ian,
he's too busy, isn't he?
He's turned a new leaf this week. He didn't really nose or pry. He was like, "Oh, you're still here, are you? Ha ha ha! I'm off to take a knife bin to a speech that Carmel's doing at the community centre. See you later. Bye."
No, they weren't paying attention to her until she said Vincent's name.
Yes. So when she went up to the desk, and the desk sergeant picked up the phone and was like, "Oh, Vincent Hubbard. Yeah, I think someone's reporting him missing."
Yeah.
And then, so she's waiting in the
Well, I just wanted to say, a few people online I saw, I don't know if this is anything, but I just want to know what you think. The reason that they weren't paying her much attention, someone wondered whether they were trying to make a statement that because she was the only black woman in waiting room and all the white people were being seen before her, were they making like a comment saying because she was black reporting a crime it wasn't as important? I saw a few people question that as to why people were being seen before her.
I mean, that's...
It's hard to comment on, I know, but I just saw that and I thought I didn't pick up on that, but
it's a valid point. The only thing that I would say is that I think to make a statement like that isn't particularly EastEnders' cup of tea.
No.
They do like making statements. For instance, the knife crime storyline at the moment.
That's what I mean.
But I don't think they would have done something unless it was a full...
It seems a bit too not in your face.
It's subtle.
It's
too incredibly subtle. And I think it's too subtle for EastEnders. I don't think they're... No, I don't want to insult the writing team because they're to churn out.
But it's only because obviously Keegan has said things like that similar. He said, "Oh, they won't care because we're just two black boys or whatever." I just wondered. I just saw a few people on Twitter say that. I thought I didn't pick up on that at all. But
I mean, I think
it's
an interesting
point.
I don't think that was their intention. I think it was just to move the story along so that she would say it's Vincent,
and then he phones a certain person.
Yeah.
So he's back.
But yes, so there's a certain person who's waiting to interview
the man that
Kim.
looks like a puppet.
Yeah, I love him. He's great.
Yeah.
DCI Aylesworth.
Is that his name? Aylesworth.
Yeah, DCI Aylesworth.
He's quite puppet-like, like thin and gaunt and like hunched over, isn't he? And
then it's probably a good casting.
He's like a Thunderbird. That's how he moves.
I thought his voice was a little bit like the guy who does the voice of Paddington.
Oh,
I did.
Maybe it's his brother. They look similar.
Well, maybe I've got a soft spot for the Paddington.
Anyway, so Kim's now being interviewed by the
DCI
dodgy guy.
Yeah, he knows.
He's the one that allegedly shot Vincent in the face.
We don't know if Vincent's been shot.
That's why I said allegedly.
Yes, well, I still stand that Vincent is got a return in him.
Or next week.
Not next week.
No, not next week. But at the end of this week, she gets a phone call, doesn't she?
Richard Blackwood's voice.
No. I can't remember. I'm now worried. I can't remember if it's something I've read or something that I've already watched happen. So I'm not going to say. You would just have to...
keep that to yourself, I think.
You let me know how this episode ends with Kim, and I'll see if it did actually happen or not.
Okay. Did you watch? Okay, fine.
I've watched it, but now I can't remember if I've actually watched this or read it.
Right. Well, when she's speaking to the DCI, she says... the last thing he spoke about was that there was a job somewhere else and that they could get protection, and you don't have to say it if it's happened, but a little wink or a little nod is Vincent in protection. And he said, I really can't say, I can't divulge information like that. And she's like, but if he is there any way I can join him? And she's like, look, I can't help you with that, but we know he could.
Yeah.
So he knows information, and so he's kind of trying to gently push her off a little bit. And then
he says to the policeman afterwards, doesn't he? He said, anyone asks about Vincent, you come straight to me.
Yeah, the desk sergeant comes straight to me. I mean, I'm sure that desk sergeant doesn't sit there 24/7, so I'm hoping that information gets passed on to another desk sergeant, or that's an interesting storyline for later on. She turns up and there's a different guy there, and she says, oh, I'm just wondering about the progress.
That's not being reported?
Yeah,
DCI. Not on file.
Yes, exactly. So Kim goes back to D, feeling quite happy that she's funny. She says it's a relief. It's a weight off her chest that she's actually reported him, and hopefully, this can progress forward. But we shall see.
We shall. Obviously, what I read didn't happen.
No, that didn't happen in the episode, so it's probably best that you stop right there. But it was very, like you say, it was a lot. Very little happened in a very long space of time. Like that, what we just explained was 4 days of story.
It was. So it's all good.
Lovely. Do you fancy a little bit of a game?
Yes, I do.
Excellent. Excellent. Good. So we didn't play a game last week. So
no.
We've got a return of an
backlog.
We've got a return of an old favourite. It's Martin Fowlers 5 a day.
Mm-hmm.
So just for any new listeners out there, and also for Ben's little mind, just repeat the rules to you. So I will ask you a question, and you must list 5 answers that relate to that question. You must wait until you've given the answer for me to tell you if it's right or wrong, and you have 30 seconds to give me 5 answers. Okay? Does that all make sense?
Yep, it does.
Good. So here's the question. Bridge Street and Turpin Road have a market. And a very fine market it is too. Open Monday to Saturday, there's no need to visit the city as a selection there is seemingly infinite. But what exactly do you have to choose from? So, do you think you can name 5 current types of items you can buy from any given market trader? In 30 seconds, can you name the wares of 5 market stalls that are on Bridge Street?
5 different ones.
5 different ones that are on Bridge Street or Turpin Road Market. You must be precise with the items that are sold. So, for instance, you can't say homeware. You would need to be more specific, like paint or lamps. Okay? And as a little clue, paint and lamps is not an answer. Okay? So you got 30 seconds. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Exciting. 30 seconds. Start now.
Fruit and veg.
Fruit and veg. We're clubbing it as one with Martin Fowler. Yeah.
Don't take my time.
Come on.
Female clothes with Kush.
Women's clothing. You could add Kush or Donna.
I was going to do 2 separate ones.
They both do the
I
same.
forgot to say. CDs or vinyls by
Winston. Yeah, that's 3 to 10 seconds.
Shrimp, flowers for the flower stall.
Flower girl with Shrimpy's girlfriend. That's 4.
And London memorabilia.
No.
Bucket and spades.
No.
Shoes.
Oh, time's up. Shoes is not an answer.
What does Shrimpy sell? Oh, fish. It was Fishmonger. That doesn't exist anymore. Though,
Yeah,
does
it does. Shellfish
who runs
and
it?
seafood van. Apparently, it's a man named Russell.
That's what Lee and Buster used to run.
Yes, they did. They had a little table. It used to stink Donna's
I'm trying to think what Shrimpy sells.
Well, I'll go through it with you.
Oh.
Shrimpy sells hats and men's clothing.
Of course he does. Oh, men's clothing as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Flower stall, you already said, which was Shrimpy's girlfriend, number 2. Organic and Whole Foods, and that's Dave. Dave
what
sells
did that hipster guy used to sell who was in it for like a few months?
He used to sell London memorabilia, but he's not there anymore. I am so sorry. Indian food. There's an Indian food market stall, but that's unknown. There's a Jack and Potato fast food van. It's true, but that's unknown. You could have said jewellery or pawn shop, which is Sarah.
Pawn shop's not on the market. It's not
It
a
is.
market
It's-
stall. Oh, is it?
Yeah, but it's
I said bucket and spade.
bucket and space, not a stall.
I know. There's not a
And-
beach near.
And if you thought about pets, there's a pet store as well.
Oh.
There you go. So they're all the stalls that are on Bridge Street and Turpin Road Market. How did you guys get on at home?
Well, I got 4.5 because I did say fish after the time. So.
Okay, well, I'll give you 4.5. There you go. So that was Martin Fowler's 5 a day. Excellent. Now it's time for Poll of the Week.
Yes.
And we've had quite a reaction at this week's Poll of the Week because we've had a couple of comments sent to us as well about it.
I did my own poll as well for like one day.
Well, we're going to do Ben's Poll of the Week as well after this.
No, poll of the day.
Poll of the day. Okay, Poll of the day. Well, we'll do Poll of the Week first, which was who stole the money from E20? It's quite a simple question. The answers we gave was Tiffany, Keegan, Bernie, or Hunter. Now, surprisingly, the least favourite was Keegan at 3%.
Well, we all know it's not him.
We know, yes, but the time the poll came up.
No.
Okay.
We all know it's not Keegan.
He
was busy.
Bernie was third with 5%. Again, I don't think it would have been Bernie.
No.
Tiffany, she's been missing in the whole week.
No.
Maybe she's gone off to
I don't know.
Spain or Malagu, Portugal. To say Portugal. Anyway, she's 13%. So everyone thinks it's Hunter. 79%.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've got no solid concrete evidence it's Hunter.
No.
But it's pretty much leaning that way. Thank you to everyone who voted on our Twitter, which is at Eastenders Week. Just a couple of comments that were attached to it. At Bovry C said, Hunter stole the money and set up that moment in the club with the gang. Keegan was right to be suspicious of Hunter. Yes,
Yeah.
I agree. I concur. At Wasp_1971 said, none of them. Woody sneaked in, stole the money, saw them, left the bottle out, and sent the messages to blackmail them into silence. Well, we know that's not true now.
Yeah, part of that's not true.
Seems-
I do think it could be Woody, though.
Yes, I agree. He says it seems like a likely exit plot for him, and that does make sense. So
a quick one written up.
It's a shame about the text doesn't match up, but yeah, that's a good punt. Wasp 1971. So thank you for your messages. As always, thank you for your messages on Twitter, and thank you for voting on the poll of the day.
Yes. Good poll of the day. It was about Woody, actually. It was during Tuesday when I hated the episode. And I said, who forgot Woody was even on the show? Hands up. 90% forgot he was on the show. So,
and that's not even a small popular, because that was quite a popular vote as well.
Yeah, there was lots of votes. And,
so
yeah.
90% of people forgot. I mean, he is due his exit soon, isn't he?
Yes.
Because he's doing his Blue Tour with Steps.
Yeah, get rid of him. Stuart will come back and replace him.
Yeah, might as well fill in the gap.
Okay.
So just to remind you all, you can get in touch with us on Twitter, which is @Eastenders Instagram is @Eastenders Weekly. You can email us. Thank you for your emails, by the way. We're
talking about that next week. We've got a big email from someone.
We did. So we're
doing it next week.
We're hoping to do it next week. Yeah, we're going to do a bit of research. So thank you for your email. You can email us EastendersWeekly@gmail.com. I forgot. And also our Facebook. Thank you for we've been getting messages on our Facebook recently too, which has been great. And we love everyone to get involved. Just go onto Facebook, and we've got a group and a page. Like and follow either. Just look for EastEnders Weekly on Facebook. And like I say, love it when you guys get involved. Just get in touch, and we always reply if we can, just to your messages, just to hear what you guys think.
I think your van car alarm's going off at the back. Can you see it's parked up? It's like shaking.
My van alarm was going off a couple of weeks ago.
Well, I think there's 2 people in the back of it.
Are they? I'm going to go and join the queue.
The theme to EastEnders Weekly was written and composed by Klaxon. He can be found on SoundCloud under KLAXUN. Thank you all for listening, and if you'd like to subscribe and leave a review, it would mean so much to us, as it really helps the word get out that we're around. If you have any topics or discussion you want us to talk about, you can email us at eastendersweekly@gmail.com or send us a tweet @EastendersWeek. We do live tweeting to every episode of EastEnders, so make sure you follow. See you soon.